Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Link Up with Lex. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button, like this video, and leave me a little comment if you learned something. If you are returning, thank you for tuning back in. Today, I'm going to be sharing some of my budgeting tips with you guys. I told y'all this year we're taking a hold of our finances and getting a grip on everything. So this is a great way or a great place to start. I feel like I'm going to have a couple of these tools in the description below. I'll either make it a downloadable PDF on my website, or I'm going to just make it like a shareable file on Google Drive. Whichever one, I'm going to put the link below and you'll be able to get it. But first is an expense tracker. I made this. It's going to be for download for free. And then a budget planner. I made this as well. It's going to be available for download. So I already went ahead and started filling my stuff out. You're also going to want to go ahead and download your most recent bank statement. You could do 30 days. If you really want to get an accurate picture on your spending habits, I recommend doing the last 90 days. Yes, it will be time consuming with what we're going to dive into, but it'll be worth it and you will get a more accurate picture of your spending habits. Also, if you want to see how I got this cute little hairdo, it's just something that lasts me for the week. Just a little quick little 1, 2, 1. I'm going to put a sped up version here.
Oh, okay, let me hurry up and do this because it's 110 degrees and I'm sitting in the car trying to hurry up. All I did was wash my hair, blow dried it, flat ironed it, parted my little 2 ponytails, molded them down with some spritz and some and a wax stick, and then parted my swoop out, molded that down with the same spritz and wax stick, and then braided my hair down into 2 plaits and used bobby pins to hold my little buns in. This was supposed to last me for a week. Child, it's been like 3 weeks and it's crunchy. My swoop lifted up off my forehead and everything, but that's it.
Okay, we're back. Let's get right into it. So I got my notes here. And first things first, like I said, you want to download your bank statement. I just did the last 30 days. So I did the month of June. My income is kind of steady because I work a full-time job and then I do hair. So the only thing that's not like consistent is the hair services. But what I did was I went through in your bank statement when you download it, it's literally gonna outline your withdrawals and your deposits. So it makes it really easy, and then it's gonna total up both of those. What you're gonna do on this expense tracker here is go through and document the date for each withdrawal, a description, so whatever the transaction was, the amount, and then if it was cash or card. Because I used my bank statement, all of these are literally off of my debit card. And this month, I'm gonna be a lot more accurate because I'm gonna make sure I track my cash transactions as well, and that's gonna give me a really accurate picture for next month when I'm doing my budget. So I just went through and I literally documented every single withdrawal that I made off my debit card, the date for it, and that's it on here. So once you get all of your expenses tracked, you're gonna go ahead and when you download this budget planner, you're gonna see it's each section. So you'll put your income, your household expenses, and the amount. Well, I feel like I'm leaning to the side. You're gonna put your income, the amount for your income, however many incomes you have. I think I got 4 slots here. I only have 2 sources of income because, like I said, I work a full-time job and then I do my hair services. You could also put like retail products because I do sell hair oil in my t-shirts, but I haven't really been like consistent or like really marketing those things, so I didn't put them on here. But next will be your household expenses and the amount. For household slash expenses, the things that you would put there would be your rent. That's something that's reoccurring every single month, and it's 9 times out of 10 the same. Mine fluctuates a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same. Groceries, that's something that you have to pay for every month unless you get like food stamps or something like that. Toiletries, so that would be like your hygiene stuff, cleaning supplies for your house, and then things like gas. So that's really all I have on here: rent, groceries, toiletries, cleaning supplies, gas, anything else that you could think of. Like if you have to pay for daycare, if you have a gym membership, things like that that aren't necessarily debt or a bill, you will put that there. Something that is reoccurring every month though. Next, you're gonna have your debt slash your bills. That is where I have like my car note. If you have loans, credit cards, any type of debt that you owe that you're paying on, you will put that there. So I have my car note, my phone bill, my Wi-Fi, my utilities, and then my credit card. For me, I have Squarespace. So what I pay, the subscription that I pay for my website, and then Booksy, my service subscription where people book me. And leisure, that would be like if you're somebody who pays for your hair every month, you get your nails done consistently every month, your lashes, stuff like that. You will put that there. I also have like my subscriptions, so Apple Music, Amazon, my Roku TV subscriptions, and then anything that you do for fun. Like if you want to set money aside to take your kids somewhere, or you make sure you set money aside every month to do brunch with the girls, or anything for leisure, like fun activities, going out, date night, that type of stuff. Then you have your savings section. Now, everybody should have something in the savings section. You should definitely have a line for emergency savings. And then for me, like I have my business on there because you should be putting money aside if you're an entrepreneur for business. Even if right now you feel like you can't save anything for emergency or business, I want you to put it on there because, like, out of sight, out of mind, right? If you don't start putting the things in your face that you want to start saving money for, you're not going to be intentional about putting money aside for them. So even if you didn't put anything aside for it last month, you feel like you're not in a position financially to put money aside for it this month, I want you to go ahead and put those lines down there. Next, or the last box, is going to be the summary box. That's where you're going to total everything up for income, total everything for your debt slash bills, savings, household expenses, and leisure. Now, this is literally 10% of budgeting. Okay. This part is the easy part because if you did your expense tracker, it should be pretty easy for you to go through and put the amounts for each of these expenses or debts, bills, whatever it is. 90 days, I say, gives you a more accurate picture. If you went ahead and downloaded 90 days of your bank statements, that's going to give you a way more accurate picture for each of these sections than if you just do 30 days. I'm going to be more consistent, like I said, moving forward with keeping track of all of my expenses. Why is my son? Why? Why? Hmm? What's the reason? Like I was saying, if you went ahead and downloaded 90 days of bank statements, which will be 3 months, that's going to give you a really accurate picture of your spending habits. So, my tips now to stick to this budget. First of all, to get a grip over your finances. If you are like, okay, now is the time, we're halfway through the year, you want to start setting some financial goals and really being consistent and serious about them. This is where you need to start. You need to create a budget and you need to track your expenses to see where your money is going. Like, it's no reason why we shouldn't know where every single dollar is going, literally. So, first things first, create that monthly budget, track those expenses. And then my tips for sticking to a budget. Budgeting is 90% discipline and 10% strategy. These tools are the strategy, right? Like it's not rocket science to figure out, okay, these are all of the sections for where my income is going. But a lot of times we don't take the time to actually write these things down. So we don't know like where our money is going. When I was working in a bank, that was like 80%, I would say, or I'll say 75% of people, they really don't know what they have coming in monthly for income and what they have going out monthly for expenses. They just don't know. Also, on here, make sure you put, when you are documenting your income, make sure you put your net income, the amount that you receive after taxes and insurance and all that stuff. 401k, all of that stuff comes out because that's the amount that you're really working with. But a lot of times people, we don't know. We just, the check coming in and we just paying the bills as they go and money is going out. We're not really intentionally keeping track of how much money we have coming in and how much we have going out. If you feel like, you just money just short, you don't know what, I'm about to knock him out. Okay. If you feel like your money is just so tight, you just don't have a clue, like it's just not enough to do the things that you want to do, to pay all of your bills, 9 times out of 10, you just need to document your expenses, track where you really are spending your money, and become more disciplined in your spending. Now, you can't budget your way to wealth. Like, obviously, if the money ain't enough, it's just not enough. But a lot of times we just are frivolously spending. Like, we're not being responsible, we're not being intentional, and we just not keeping track. We're not paying attention. So that's why I say budgeting is 90% discipline, 10% strategy. If you have the tools that you need, that's where the discipline is going to come into play. You have to want it, right? Like, you have to be the one to hold yourself accountable. You have to be the one to stick to the budget. That leads me to mindset. You have to believe you can do it. Your mindset is more important than anything when it comes to budgeting. What's your relationship with money? Because a lot of our spending is psychological, a lot of it is emotionally driven. A lot of us spend money because of the experience that we get and the feeling that we get from whatever we're spending money on, especially with like overconsumption and materialism being marketed to us every day on every media channel that we're tuned into, social media, TV. It's commercials everywhere. Everything is pulling on you to spend your money and buy something, and the message is you're going to feel better about yourself, you're going to look better, it's going to sell you some type of status if you spend your money on these things. And a lot of times we buy into it, right? Like, it's psychological. It's marketing is psychological. They play on your mentality, your mindset to get you to spend your money on these things. So think about what your relationship with money is. What principles were you taught as a child when it came to money? A lot of us come from households, I know if you're like me, single parent households where you probably grew up with just your mom or just your dad, and you weren't able to get the things that you wanted as a child. And so when you grew up, you were like, I'm gonna get everything that I want. I'm gonna live the life that I want. I'm gonna live this lavish lifestyle. You just made it your intention to get all of the things that you lacked as a kid. That's emotional, right? Like, that's psychological. And that's the type of stuff that we have to think about when we're evaluating our spending, when we're looking at how we spend money and the things that we spend money on. Simplicity is the goal. Like, we really don't need a lot to survive, right? Like, we need a house, we need clothes, we need food, we need transportation. But those are the main things. Same thing for our kids. Like, they need clothes, they need food, they need a roof over their heads. But we don't need a lot of the extra stuff that we spend money on, right? Like, we really don't. And you have to be really mindful of what you consume and what you let into your ear gates, into your eyes. The people that you talk to, like, you have to be really intentional about those things, because y'all, like, what you consume influences your desires. Your desires literally drive your spending. The things that you desire literally drive what you will spend your money on. So I say, until you get disciplined enough in your spending, limit your usage of social media and media outlets. Read more books. I'm so serious. Read more books. Read, y'all. Like, really read. Like, find you some books that are about like personal development. Find you some books that are on financial literacy. Find you some books on, I don't know, anything other than overconsumption and materialism. And I say that because we're being marketed all kind of stuff every day, all day on social media, like stuff that we really do not need. It's pointless stuff. But if you sitting there scrolling and that's what you consuming and you seeing, you're gonna start feeling like you need that stuff. You're gonna be so led to just spend that money on that stuff. It ain't even gonna be a thought to it. You gonna be ready to spend. Cause I know when I be on TikTok and them TikTok shop videos be coming up, them ads, I be feeling like I need this. What? And it's only $5.99. I need this. Need it now. And I be buying stuff on there. TikTok shop got me in a chokehold. Okay, I want an ice machine right now. I need an ice maker. No, but for real, like one thing in particular I put on here was frontals and wigs, y'all. When they became so popular on social media, like I say, this was like 2019-ish, 2018, 2019, 2020. Wigs just was booming, right? We weren't thinking about no wigs for real before that time. Frontals, we wasn't thinking about that. We was still doing traditional leave out sew-ins and stuff. You know, we was doing U-part wigs. You know what I'm saying? But the wigs and the frontals and the closures, y'all, remember, it took social media by storm, and it made everybody feel like they needed a frontal. I mean, look around. You know what I'm saying? People is willing to forego their real hairline, willing to sacrifice their real hairline for a wig, child, for a frontal. So it could be laid, fried dye, laid to the side. And I feel victim. I'm not a wig wearer. I never have been. I wear a weave every now and then. You know, I would do my little sew-ins. That's how I grew my hair back when I had my hair tragedy and my hair fell out. I wore sew-ins to grow my hair back. But I never was a wig wearer. But at that time, like 2019, when I decided that I was going to quit my job and I was going to go full time into entrepreneurship and cosmetology, y'all, wigs had me in a chokehold. And I was like, I need to learn how to do frontals. Like, that's where the money is. I need to learn, so much so to the point where I spent thousands, literally. I spent a couple $1,000s on a one-on-one with one of the best frontal layers in my city, one of the best hairstylists in my city. Learned how to do the frontals. I started selling wigs. I started making wigs. And you know, to sell stuff, you kind of gotta like be your own model at first, unless you just have people that's willing to let you practice on them. But even still, like, excuse me, I think like you're your best model when you are starting something new or trying to sell something. So I started wearing wigs, and I soon quickly realized that they're not for me. Like, I was forced to face that reality, like wigs are just not my thing. And I don't need to wear wigs. Like, it's easier for me, it's more authentic for me to market healthy hair. And that's really what I'm passionate about, is healthy hair. I love a good slay, you know what I'm saying? Like the next woman. You know, we all love to be able to switch it up and look good and whatever. But frontals are just not me. Wigs are just, they're not my thing. I can't see myself wearing a frontal every day or every week or every couple of weeks I'm going to get a frontal laid. But there are people who do that, and think about how expensive that is. When we all have hair on our heads, we don't need wigs. Nobody does. All you need to do is take care of your real hair. Let it breathe. But because of how heavily they were promoted to us and marketed to us, they've taken the culture by storm, honey. They've taken it by storm when they were never intended for everyday people. They were never intended for just Susie with the 9 to 5 to just be wearing a frontal every single day. That was never what it was for. It's for people in front of the camera 24/7, actors, actresses, performers. Like, you know, that's what it's for. It's for them to be able to change their styles up quickly, and for the hairs to last on stage under those hot lights. And you know what I'm saying? That's what it's they were intended for. But social media, y'all, the power of social media, the power of media and marketing. My next tip for sticking to the budget is, what's your why? Why do you want to gain control of your finances? That's what's going to help you to stay disciplined. That's what's going to motivate you on the days where you feel tempted to just spend frivolously and spend carelessly, is remembering your why. You know, like, do you have a goal set to buy a home? Are you trying to buy a car? Do you want to just be able to take care of your family? Like, what is the why? If you don't have a why, it's going to be so easy for you to be swayed and persuaded to spend that money and become irresponsible with it. But having a why really brings everything back home. when you start getting tempted. When you in the store and you see something on sale, because I love a good sale. And sometimes I just be like, oh, I gotta get this. I gotta get it. It's on sale. Why wouldn't I? You know? Duh, I'm gonna get this. This is a once in a lifetime steal. And it ain't. It's not at all. It ain't that deep. My last tip is to track your expenses. Of course, I said that. Tracking your expenses, it just allows you to see where your money is going in real time. When I first tracked my expenses and first set a budget for the first time, I had spent almost $300 in 1 month on fast food. And that was like a slap in the face. It was like a wake up call. The wake up call I didn't know I needed. Because what? Why am I spending that much on fast food when I could spend that on groceries and cook at home? Because Starbucks got me and my son in a chokehold. Why am I spending almost $300 on fast food? That was like, okay, you need to get a grip because that's ridiculous. That's what's going to happen when you really see, because you don't know where every dollar is going. You don't know where you don't. I promise you don't until you track those expenses. You're going to be embarrassed a little bit. You're not going to have a choice but to get it together because it's going to be so ridiculous. Well, maybe not everybody, but it's going to be ridiculous for the most part. Like, you're going to be like, okay, I need to reel it on in. That's what it did for me. It just allowed me to see really where everything was going in real time because I was tripping. My last tip is to eliminate unnecessary subscriptions and unnecessary expenses. Once you track those expenses, again, that's what it's going to do for you. It's going to allow you to see where every single dollar is going. And like I said, simplicity is the goal, right? We don't need all of this stuff that we spending money on. If you are setting a financial goal, you need to be aiming for simplicity. You don't need every single TV subscription, channel subscription that you have subscribed to. I promise you don't. You don't need to spend on every single expense that you're spending on every month. You don't have to go get your lashes done, lash extensions. You don't have to go get your hair done as often as you're going to get it done. You don't have to. You don't have to. Those aren't things that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? You can get you a good wig if you're a wig wearer. You know, get you a good one, get it shampooed, you know, once a month or whatever the case. And slap that mug on and go on about your business. Get you some lash clusters and learn how to do them yourself. You got to get innovative when you're trying to spend money. And it ain't forever. Let's just be clear about that. It's not forever. But for the time being that it's going to take you to reach whatever financial goal you are striving towards, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. So, at least for the time it'll take you to reach the goal, be intentional enough, be disciplined enough, be serious enough about yourself, about your future, and about your goals to make those sacrifices because that's what it's going to take. That is what it's going to take. All right. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I'm going to have these tools, the budget planner, and the expense tracker. I'm going to have both of these available for download either on my website or I'm going to make it a Google Drive document that you can just go in and download. But these are really easy. It's not rocket science. It's not a complicated process. You just follow each section, track those expenses. I think tracking your expenses first makes it easier and then go in and fill in the budget. But either way, whatever floats your boat, whatever floats your boat. I will be back. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back with another video. We will probably dive into I don't know. I got a whole list of stuff, y'all, on my dry erase board. I got a whole list of topics. So we'll be back with something. It'll probably be centered around saving. So if you have specific topics or any questions specifically pertaining to financial goals, financial literacy, leave them in the comment section or hit me up on Instagram. I'm going to put that at the end of the video. And I will be happy to answer them for you. I'm always open to you guys giving me topics to talk about because at the end of the day, I want to help y'all. That's what I'm doing this for. It ain't for me. I mean, I got some financial goals that I'm, striving towards myself, but I want to help y'all. Okay. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys next time on Link Up with Lex. You was the nigga fucking bitches. Now you wishing you with me living life so